And what was girls, welcome to my channel, I'm For Classic and welcome to BenchART. So for today what we have here is a Japanese title called ONINAKI. ONINAKI, it is developed by the Tokyo RPG Factory and it is using Unity engine. So these guys have developed games like I Am Setsuna, which was released on Switch, Vita, PlayStation 4 and also Microsoft Windows. They also released the Lost Sphere, for example. Yeah, they have released a couple of Japanese games, but they seem to be a new studio overall. So I have been wondering how this game would play in our laptop, since visually it looks fine, but yeah, this is a typical title that should probably run in our laptop, right? Well, that's what was my question about it. And obviously, like the usual, I had to test it out to know how we can play this game and show to you. So let's go to skip this introduction in here, this cutscene, and jump to the graphical settings, if the game allows me, of course, because I'm receiving a lot of tutorials in here. Oh, come on. Alright, so settings, config, and let's go. Graphics. So I'm playing the game with every stuff on the minimum possible. The minimum resolution you can go in this game, it is 720p. Despite I have the frame rate set to 60, this is for the benchmarking purposes. I do recommend you to cap the game at 30 frames per second in order to be more stable, alright, for you to play and for not to drop those FPSs down than 30s. Alright, so yeah, the requirements. This game asks for an E3 3210, 4 gigs of RAM and an Nvidia GT 750. What I can say is that with our PC in here, and if you only have 4 gigabytes of RAM, it is okay, because these requirements are sort of true, because that's exactly what we are playing. Yeah, they are probably asking a little bit too much of graphic cards, but yet with the GT 740M I was able to get an average of 33 frames per second with a 1% low of 17. Although despite the 1% low, really looks bad, this number. It isn't really like this. If you look to this graphic, you can only see like 3 big drops, and the entire rest of the gameplay, it was pretty much between, you know, 27 to 33 frames per second. The game was pretty much having the same frame rate all the time, and this is good news because at least you don't get surprises like playing at 60 or 50 frames per second and in some sequences dropping down to 20s. No, this don't happen in this game at all. This game will always play pretty much at the same frame rate. The only things that might change, it is during cutscenes or lower camera pans, you might start to have kind of low frame rate below the 30 frames per second or even below 25 frames per second during those cutscenes, because the camera pans down, you can actually overview the entire map and enemies and shadows. So it's like it gets to a third-person perspective instead of being isometric. So it is normal that it gets more demanding. But like I said, it only happens during cutscenes. During gameplay, what you are going to get, it is pretty much this experience that you are actually seeing over here. So now let's talk about the game. I'm no reviewer, alright. This is one of the things that I do in here. It is talk a little bit about the game, but based on comments that I've been reading on the internet and based on scores. It's like a highlight point that I make in here from things that I have saw or that I have read or that somebody told me. Alright, but this game for now costs $49.99. I think it is quite expensive. It is pretty much a launch price for a regular game. Either they cost $59.99 or either they cost $49.99. So yeah, it is an expensive title, but it is really worth it. That's mainly the question. So if you kind of like this type of Japanese games and you were waiting for this game, yeah, probably yes. But Steam users have been kind of undecided how good or bad this game it is, because I mean 70% it is the score around this game, average. Most of the people, what they complain, it is pretty much the story. They say that only the beginning it is interesting and that the story gets entirely downhill throughout the game until the end. And the end it is, well, just beat the bottom, pretty much like it. They say that the beginning it is the only interesting part. Most of the demo available on Steam. Yes, there is a demo on Steam that you can try out this game. If you play the demo, for example, they say that that's pretty much the most interesting part you will get from this game, and after all it will be always downhill. So yeah, it's more of a warning, alright? I'm not saying for you to not to buy the game. I'm pretty sure the game worth something, alright, and worth the price, but probably not this price at launch. Probably at a sale or something like this might be a good investment, especially if you are really into this type of games. So without too much stuff to talk about, I'm going to leave you in here with more gameplay for you to have an idea what you can expect from this game, and that's it. You can actually play the game 720p, low settings, around 30 frames per second. Awesome stuff. Alright, thank you a lot for watching, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
癒し口を使う。レベルアップだ。世界渡りするぞ。Huh!